Cunningham turned a routine penalty into a public shaming of the league, exposed double standards in officiating, and became the enforcer the WNBA never knew it needed. From her first WNBA minutes, Caitlin Clark has been the focal point of relentless, thus often dangerous defensive tactics. In 2024 alone, she absorbed 12 of the league's 70 flagrant fouls, 17% despite appearing in just 40 games. That translates to 0.30 flagrant fouls per game, compared to 0.07 for the next highest player. Mid-season analytics reveal Clark drew 3.4 hard fouls per outing, almost twice the 1.8 hard fouls faced by fellow top 10 scorers. Clark's high-profile matchups, from a bone-rattling full-speed body check by Kennedy Carter in Detroit to an eye jab by Denai Carter in the first round of the 2024 playoffs, regularly dominated highlight reels. In that playoff game, the uncalled eye poke forced Clark off the floor for 3 painful minutes and contributed to a narrow first-round exit against Connecticut, yet game officials rarely upgraded these hits. Post-game interviews with referees often blandly cited incidental contact. All the while, Clark's on-court exploits fueled a 60% spike in national TV ratings, transforming WNBA viewership from 5.8 million league-wide to 9.9 million during Fever broadcasts. Road crowds swelled. Seattle's Climate Pledge Arena and New York's Barclays Center reported over 95% capacity for Clark's marquee games. Still, the league's reluctance to consistently enforce its own rules sent a clear signal. Not even the WNBA's most bankable talent is immune from unchecked physicality, exposing a glaring safety gap at the heart of the sport. During a pivotal showdown on March 28, 2025 at Mohegan Sun Arena, broadcast to over 1.2 million homes, history repeated itself in the most alarming fashion. With the Fever nursing a narrow lead early in the third quarter, Connecticut guard JCS Sheldon drove hard to the baseline. Without the ball in sight, she thrust her elbow upward, catching Clark square in the right eye socket. Slow-motion replays showed Clark's head snapping back, her vision instantly compromised. As the crowd gasped, Clark staggered backward, hand pressed to her face, clearly dazed. Before she could even steady herself, veteran Marina Mabrey sprinted in from the weak side and delivered a textbook shoulder-to-rib shove with such velocity that Clark collapsed face-first onto the floor. The force registered at approximately 450 pounds of impact, according to independent sports science analysts. Cameras captured Clark clutching her midsection and inhaling sharply as trainers rushed to her side, slapping on impact wraps and administering on-court pain checks. Yet on this nationally televised stage, where every frame was under a microscope, officials inexplicably let the sequence stand. They handed out only technical fouls to Clark, Mabrey, and Fever veteran Tina Charles for escalation, and surprisingly issued a single flagrant foul to Sheldon. Neither Mabrey nor Sheldon were ejected, and no immediate fines or upgrades were announced. Across social media, the clip exploded. Over 4 million views in the first hour, thousands of fans tagging the league under number protect Caitlin. Analysts dissected the play, with former referees on X calling for mandatory flagrant twos for any ball-irrelevant hits. Yet the WNBA's official response was a terse press release asserting that standard protocols were followed. No mention of review boards, no promise of replay upgrades, no indication of referee retraining, just a bureaucratic shrug. In the wake of this, petitions demanding clear officiating reforms, automatic flagrant fouls for off-ball contact, in-game video reviews, and public transparency on referee decisions surged past 100,000 signatures within 48 hours. League insiders concede the incident has become a flashpoint, forcing the WNBA to confront whether preserving its marquee talent's safety is worth more than preserving the status quo. As the clock ticked under 46 seconds with Indiana clinging to an 88-71 advantage, Sophie Cunningham turned the game's final moments into a statement. JCS Sheldon, who had drawn no live whistles for back-to-back cheap shots on Clark, drifted wide, and Cunningham met her shoulder to shoulder. In one fluid motion, she drove heel first into Sheldon's torso, locked a two-hand grip on her midsection, and twisted her off balance before forcing her down onto the hardwood. The impact registered immediately. Sheldon lay stunned, and Clark's teammates leapt from the bench to join the ensuing melee. Referees reviewed the replay on the court monitor, then slapped Cunningham with a flagrant 2 foul, ejecting her, Sheldon, and Connecticut, forward Lindsay Allen for their roles in the scrum. The penalty carried an automatic suspension of 1 game under league rules, and later that night, the WNBA announced a $400 fine for Cunningham's foul, plus an undisclosed fine for her part in the bench clearing. For context, that fine equals roughly 0.5% of the WNBA's minimum rookie salary, symbolically small against Cunningham's sudden earnings spike. But Cunningham refused to back down. In her post-game interview, she explained that her tackle was the culmination of years of frustration, watching Clark absorb unchecked hits. "When the refs won't step up, I will," Cunningham said, her tone measured but fierce. That unabashed defense of her teammate resonated widely. Within hours, social media engagement on her highlight grew by 350%, and fans rallied behind hashtags like #SpicySophie Sophie and Protect Our Stars. What began as a punitive moment instead vaulted Cunningham into the national conversation, proof that a single act of solidarity, even if technically against the rules, can redefine a player's career. When the league refused to shield its brightest star, Cunningham demonstrated that sometimes the only path to accountability was to enforce it yourself. Cunningham didn't hide. She leaned into the moment. Within 24 hours, her TikTok follower count rocketed from 400,000 to 1.2 million. A 200% surge fueled by viral clips of her flagrant foul and aftermath. On Instagram, she added 350,000 new followers, bringing her total to 730,000, as Fevered fans shared highlights of her hard-nosed defense. Meanwhile, Fever fans snapped up her number, 8 jersey in record time. Initial stock sold out the same day, and restock dates were pushed back to July 8, 2025 to meet demand. Brands took notice too. Cunningham's sponsored post rate immediately jumped from $10,000 to $20,000, and marketing analysts at STN Digital estimated her overnight brand equity boost at over $1 million, all from a single $400 fine. What started as a routine disciplinary action became a masterclass in personal branding. By standing up for her teammate, Cunningham didn't just defend Clark. She turned a league penalty into a platform that elevated her profile far beyond any on-court stat line. When Caitlin Clark missed a 4-game stretch in June 2025 due to what insiders describe as the cumulative effects of multiple hard fouls, the WNBA's financial vulnerability became brutally clear. National TV viewership for Fever games dropped from an average of 9.9 million homes to 4.4 million, a 55% decline, according to Nielsen data. That viewership slump wasn't isolated. Non-Clark matchups across the league saw similar plunges, pulling the WNBA's overall ratings down by 28% for the month. Box office receipts told the same story. At Gainbridge Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, single-game attendance fell from 15,200 for Clark's appearances to just 10,640 for other games, a 30% drop that cut gate revenues by hundreds of thousands per contest. Sportico reported that secondary market ticket prices for Fever games without Clark tumbled by 20%, signaling waning fan demand when the league's biggest draw was sidelined. These figures contrast sharply with Clark's impact in 2024, when her electrifying rookie season underpinned a 170% spike in overall WNBA viewership, helping secure a $200 million national media rights deal. Advertisers and sponsors cited Clark's presence as the primary factor behind record-high engagement metrics, from social media impressions to digital streaming minutes. In June 2025, her absence exposed a league overly reliant on one player to drive revenue and engagement. That dependence underscores Larry Bird's, and now fans' argument. If the WNBA can't guarantee Clark's on-court safety, it risks not only her career, but the league's entire growth engine. Protecting its marquee talent isn't just a moral imperative, it's a financial lifeline. Cunningham's retaliation did more than settle a score. It ripped off the mask on the WNBA's erratic officiating. While established veterans like Chennedy Carter have seen live shoves upgraded to flagrant 2 fouls only after multi-minute video reviews, Clark's routine bone-jarring hits often drew nothing beyond a cursory whistle. In one mid-season game, Clark endured 5 off-ball collisions, and when she winced after a forearm to the ribs, referees called just 2 soft fouls across the entire quarter. A Washington Post deep dive confirmed that the painted area has become a physical, violent place, with officials repeatedly reluctant to penalize high-impact plays against star players. When Connecticut coach Rich Mazzane dismissed Cunningham's hard foul as stupid and unnecessary, fans countered by replaying Clark's unpunished shoves in their own endless loops on X. Hashtags, Zero Tolerance and He Protect Our Stars trended within hours as analysts argued for a simple fix. Any contact off the ball, any hit disguised as incidental, should trigger an automatic flagrant 2 and immediate review. Broadcasters noted that in 2024, while Clark drew 12 flagrant fouls, only 3 were upgraded on the spot. compared to 9 upgrades after replay for veteran-on-veteran incidents. Cunningham's single act of unauthorized justice crystallized a league-wide demand. Star or rookie, everyone deserves consistent protection. Her hard fouls ceased to be mere payback. It became a clarion call for accountability, forcing the WNBA to confront its own uneven standards and pledge that no player's safety will be left to chance. In the wake of her flagrant 2 ejection, Sophie Cunningham's reputation transformed overnight. No longer viewed merely as a supporting guard, she emerged as the WNBA's de facto bodyguard for Caitlin Clark. Fans on X and TikTok emblazoned her with titles like Clark's Enforcer and the protector the league needed. That image wasn't empty hype. Cunningham holds a black belt in Taekwondo, earned at age 6, demonstrating a lifelong commitment to disciplined, controlled physicality rather than reckless aggression. Her teammates immediately recognized Cunningham's impact. Indiana coach Stephanie White praised her instinct to stand up for teammates in post-game interviews, while veteran Natasha Howard noted, "When Sophie steps on the court, opponents know there's a cost to dirty play." Across social media, influencers and former WNBA stars alike lauded Cunningham's authenticity. Fitness commentator Joey Swoll tweeted, "She didn't just foul someone, she defended the integrity of the game," a post that garnered 141,000 likes and 2,300 retweets. This moment of unauthorized justice forced the WNBA's leadership to reevaluate priorities. Each retweet and highlight package underscored a clear demand from viewers. Stars must be safeguarded or risk alienating the very fans who drive ratings and revenue. Cunningham's stand crystallized the rallying cry that echoed through arenas nationwide. Protect your icons or watch them and their supporters walk away. A $400 fine was no match for Sophie Cunningham's rise. By standing up for Caitlin Clark, she exposed officiating flaws, boosted her brand by millions, and challenged the WNBA to enforce zero-tolerance standards. Will the league act to safeguard its brightest stars, or will players continue to buy back their own protection?